And actually, when I went and argued with the Coast Guard about their restrictions, they'd actually read the poem, or at least one of them had, and said he liked it, so that was all right. I appreciated that. Swim free or die. We are all invited every 4th of July to pour into Charlotte Harbor, into the Peace River, invited to join a welling up of common endeavor, sprung from unbound fervor, shed of stuffed shirt constraint. Swim free of tyranny, free from the do-gooders of the well-intentioned, those whom would shackle, knowingly or unwittingly, a self-sufficient spirit of adventure to the regimented operational application of studied crowd control techniques with coordinated assets properly deployed, saving us at great cost from ourselves. From our own inner sea, plunged into brackish tea, golden light plays on bathing bodies, fleshy bodies, moving, the light moving as the water moves, air to liquid, water to gasp, stroking and kicking, reaching through a baptismal solvent for freedom, for glorious liberty. Not freedom on the far shore, but the exhilarating release of the passage, fighting off cramps, pulling and stretching, soaking, stroking, resting, floating, talking about elemental things, bobbing and treading, awash in the peace, becoming the peace, fed by freedom from convention, from fiscal demands, from accountability's responsible command, celebrating our loved ones cautiously watching, motoring into helpful positions, celebrating no cause but the thing itself, a haphazard passage, a rite of passage, a declaration of independence, of individual responsibility, of indomitable spirit, of meeting the challenge of a long, laughing good time, a brother and sisterhood of community. The Freedom Swim claims the openness of our public areas to fair use without hinder or unwanted help. Let us help ourselves. The Freedom Swim proclaims our natural imagination, expresses our exercised notion of liberty, manifests fundamental principles of our being. So, to the powers that be, here's hoping for a real change. Keep your hands off our Freedom Swim. Swim free or die. Well, that's happening, and I hope a lot of you come, and I hope that you swim with a buddy, and I hope you've got your own chase boat and support group with you, because it's a long way across there, and it's dangerous, and you could drown, and don't forget that, and don't send your children out unsupervised in it, and think somebody else is going to look out after them. This is about each of us looking out for ourselves, at the same time reaching out to one another to help. And let me tell you, last year was a train wreck, to use a bad metaphor for a swim, but it was a lot of people got way off course, and law enforcement picked up more than 100 people out of the water, and they used that. Every person they picked up got thrown at me about why the Coast Guard had to impose more restrictions and conditions and requirements upon us. And so, if you're in trouble, for goodness sake, get help wherever you can. If you're just a little bit uncomfortable, how about wait for somebody other than law enforcement to help you, because it will ultimately cause the demise of the Freedom Swim if we keep clinging to the government and its functionaries to help us. And that goes, that's a general sentiment. That ought to ring true for people throughout on all kinds of levels. At the same time, there are some things that individuals can't do that government must do. For example, the Coast Guard makes it idle speed in the channel during the Freedom Swim. Because government is in control of that, they can be the ones that do that, and that adds to the safety of the swim, and I appreciate that very much. If you go through the swim, you're going to be moving a lot. One of the things that happens to us is that because of repetitive motions, because of things where we don't stretch out and we don't move, we end up having constrictions. Dr. Ed Bender can help you with that. Don't fail to contact Dr. Ed Bender. We've got a call. Caller.